Yes, everybody, welcome back to Football United TV. We are going to be talking about the round 16 and, of course, the quarter-finals of this year's World Cup 2022 in Qatar. I'm joined by the one and only Aubrey and the one and only Rise, Talk MU. But first comes the intro.
Oh, I can't hear you.
I was just going to say, I thought my headphones are gone. Sorry, Matt, you're muted.
Yeah. No, you're good. And by the way, I was gonna say, you know me as Aubrey, but a lot of people on these YouTube streets know me as Football Power Hour. That's the name of my of the YouTube channel. And yeah. Oh, by the way, your audio is still gone. It's still gone. I can't hear you. Unless it's just gone for me. And
I think he's playing games with us. He's playing. He's gonna come back. I'll continue from this point.
All right, you got it.
Yeah, I've got it. I've finished dancing after that intro. I love that intro.
Right.
Yeah. So we are going to be discussing the round of 16.
Yes.
Matt will be back shortly. There he is.
Can you hear me?
Now we can hear you.
Okay, great. I don't know what happened there, so apologies for that. What was you saying, Talk?
No, you continue, bro.
Round of 16.
Yeah.
What did you guys make of it? And yeah, what do you think? I've lost myself here completely. Sorry, everybody. I don't know.
Compose yourself.
I think that maybe StreamYard, I've gone over the minutes. Maybe that's why it's cutting out my sound. Possibly. But round of 16, World Cup, what's going on? Tell us about what you thought, and a shock victory for Morocco in a penalty shootout with Spain. It was amazing to see. We've had lots of shocks in the World Cup, but what did you make? What did you make of round 16, mate?
Should I go first?
All right.
Let me go first. So it was a very, very interesting set of fixtures. I think the obviously, as you said, the Morocco-Spain was the most surprising result, the latest upset. But the most goals were scored by Portugal, but the most electrifying goals were scored by Brazil, and the most forced goals were scored by England. Like they were not like silky. They were not, there was something about them that's just like forced, and not so natural per se. Another game that kept me at the edge of my seat is the Argentina-Australia game, because I was still rooting for the spirit of the underdog, as how the underdogs have been performing throughout the tournament. It's just been such a interesting and thrilling experience, making every game pretty much, unexpected movie, pretty much, even for the Morocco-Spain game, as you mentioned, that one, when the moment Spain hit the post on the final phase of extra time, you could see it was written in their faces that something is going against us, and they knew that they were going to lose. Luis Enrique said they practiced 1,000 penalties. I don't know. Do you guys think they practiced enough penalties or no?
I don't think they did. I don't know about you, Rise. I just definitely think that they didn't even score a penalty. I mean, who was it the other day as well? Was it Japan that went out on penalties? And at least they got one. They were terrible penalties too. But yeah, what did you make of that, Rise? Talk, sorry.
Yeah, I mean, the Spain game, look, you've got to think did Spain do enough? That's the first question you got to ask. Did they do enough in the game? Were they brave enough? You know, were they inventive enough? I mean, against Morocco, they knew what they were coming up against Morocco. Morocco played an absolute blinder, in my opinion. And so maybe they were somewhat surprised and shocked themselves, the players, thinking, crikey, wait a minute, we weren't supposed to be here at the penalty stage. What's going on here? I don't think they were prepared for penalties. They may have practiced the penalties, but there's a difference between practicing but then preparing for the outcome of. So I don't think they were prepared, in my opinion. And so, you know, I think Morocco were absolutely top class, top draw, deservedly going through. And, you know, Spain, yeah, look, they've got to go away now and recompose themselves and you know, work it out with Enrique if he's going to stay on or not and all the rest of it.
Well, I think he's already gone.
He's gone.
Yeah, he's left
today.
Okay. Oh, he's gone today. Okay, then. So, yeah, okay. Look, you know what? It's time for a refresh, innit? You know, when it comes to national teams after a few years. I don't know if Hansi Flick's going to stay at Germany or not, etc. as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, there's been some, how should we say, surprising results in the whole tournament. Yeah. But again, I think it's all about preparation and attitude to the game you're going into. You know, I think for the first game for Argentina, they quite clearly were in the mindset of, oh, it's only Saudi Arabia. We got this. We've got Messi in the team. So that's obviously the wrong way to take on any game at a World Cup. They quickly learned from that. They picked themselves up and turned it around. Sorry, what's your name again? Sorry.
Football Power Hour. You know.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah. Nat's killing it today.
Damn it! Sorry, mate. Sorry. On WhatsApp, it always comes up with your name, and I'm like,
I know.
What's your name? But what's your name though?
I mean, Aubrey is like my one of my names.
Okay.
I go with Aubrey. Botswana Papi too. That's like one name that's really popular. So yeah, man, I got a couple of names. Go ahead.
You know,
you're gonna call you Papi.
Yeah, Papi or Botswana.
It's been a like I said, it's been an interesting set of results. For some of the games, but you were talking about Brazil, and you know, I mean, look, I had the conversation with somebody from Brazil, a good friend of ours, Marley, from Rio, and we had a conversation, and I said, "Oh, it's coming home," and he said, "Do you mean it's coming home? Where's home? Where's the home of football?" And I was saying, "What do you mean where's the home of football?" I was saying, "England," and he said, "No, bro, it's not." And I was like, "What do you mean it's not?" And then we had a conversation about, and actually by the end of the conversation, I agreed with him that actually no, the home of football is not England, it's Brazil, because Brazil have taken football to somewhere else that nobody else could take it. And then we got into the. I'll let you speak in a second, Matt. 1 second. We then discussed on how has that become what it's become, and obviously there's lots of different ingredients you've got to look at. You know, in terms of why Brazil are so good at football and just, you know, world beaters and innovators, because they are. And there's, again, but I don't want to get into all of them points, but it was an interesting conversation. But Brazil, for me, if they really want to go into a game focused, take their opponents seriously, concentrate on what they've got to do to stop the opponents and get that ball in the back of the net, they will beat anybody and they will win the World Cup, in my opinion.
Matt, before I gotta interrupt you real quick, please, and ask him. Did your Brazilian friend talk about the? Did you and your Brazilian friend talk about the dancing? What did you feel about the dancing? And was it impressive? Was it a show of culture or disrespectful to the Koreans? Go ahead.
Look,
I said this to you the other day, didn't I? Discussion.
We did talk about this, yeah. And for me, I don't see the big deal of it, to be honest with you, because at the end of the day, you know what you're coming into. You know, you're going to the World Cup. This is not a game of well, if we start to beat you really badly, well, then we're going to sort of just not enjoy ourselves. No, these people are trained athletes. They do this because they love it and they've got passion for it. Take aside the money aspect of it, that comes as a side effect of being a great footballer. So the first thing of being a great footballer is because you love it and you got the passion. Look at the greatest example is Ronaldinho. You know, he could make a ball it turned into a piece of art. You know, you watch Ronaldinho and it's artwork right there, live artwork in front of your eyes. And it makes me, I watch Ronaldinho's clips, and even now, it makes me feel like a little kid, all excited and tingly and like I'm floating in air. And I want to get up and start kicking a ball myself. So I got no problem with them. You know, it was unfortunate for the South Koreans that they were so poor. But again, during the watch along that me and Matt was doing on that one, we did a watch along, didn't we, Matt?
Yes, we did.
Yeah, we were saying at the time, look, they've got to do something. This is down to the coach now to earn his corn to try and, you know, change this up. And I was saying that they should have gone. I think I was saying they should have gone 5 at the back, or 3 at the back. Sorry.
But that's the thing. They did change it up second half because they won the second half. South Korea.
Well, yeah,
yeah.
But it was far too little. It was far too little. Far too late. You know.
Sorry, Torgis. You know how everyone goes, yeah, but Man United won the second half against Man City. It's that I'm using that. It's not a good example, but it is kind of. At least they didn't concede any goals. But I wanted to go back on. I think for a player seeing that it's not offensive, but it riles them up, and they would be angry about it. If you was a player, I think you would. You want to kick them up into the air, wouldn't you? When you go back into the next half.
But let me ask you the question, man.
I loved it.
What angle is that anger coming from, though? Is it coming from a?
It's bitterness, isn't it? It's like they're doing better than me. They're literally playing us off the field right now, and they're dancing around. As a player, I'd be frustrated, wouldn't you? I wouldn't be like, oh, look at that dancing. That's great, isn't it? Of course you
would.
But you know, I mean, there's something to be said. I mean, the Brazilian culture is very expressive and very much full of life and very much, you know, but there's something to be said about the fact that they were against a team that's on the other side of the spectrum culturally in terms of being expressive. So like the Koreans are more reserved and more contained, and you know, and so there's, you know, there was like, okay, come on, maybe you could do a little bit of cultural compromise a little bit, but then you know, it's also that chance though to show the culture, to show the world, to show the rest of the world that culture. So you can't blame them for that. But then the thing is, when the coach gets involved though and starts doing that. How do you feel, man?
Okay, look, yeah, all right. There's dressing something up, and then there's dressing it up, and then sprinkling sugar on it. Now that's what the Brazilians did with the coach. He got the sugar out, right? He sprinkled that sugar right on top. Yeah, but you know what? Again, maybe okay. You know, you're gonna have to. I would say, okay, look, maybe there's a certain extent you do it, and again, let me say this: there's a certain amount of time you do it for. Maybe going back and looking at it, we could say, okay, maybe it went on a little bit too long, and they rubbed that salt in that wound just a little bit too long, right? You know,
I saw judges in the crowd like putting up 7s, 9s.
Yeah,
Len Goodman.
I'm gonna agree with Solo in the chat and say everybody that's like got a problem with it, they don't have rhythm. Roy Keane can't do the move. Jason Kandi can't do the move. That's why he's out here mad. That's why actually even somebody, I think Jason Kandi was like, if it was the robot, I wouldn't be so mad. But it's because he can't do the move. You know. So anyway, like share the culture. That's all. That's the team. That's the side that I'm on. You know?
I like it. As a fan, I loved it. But I think if I was a player.
Yeah,
when I was a South Korean player, I'd be peed.
Yeah, but you got to use that energy, Matt. Like, you got to use that energy in a different way. You got to use that energy to go. Okay, so you want to dance? All right, I'm now going to get better. I'm going to be now more focused on trying to be better on the pitch, rather than letting that distract you from the game, which it clearly did. Then I've got to say, you know, maybe you're not. You know, you need to go away and refocus on what you're doing at World Cup.
Wasn't it the guy from Cameroon that celebrated, took his shirt off, and then got the red card?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Vincent Abubakar.
Yeah.
I mean, like, what a bow.
That was the most dignified red card in football history. Like the fact that, like, you know, he shakes the referee's hand and he's like, I know.
But he had to do it, though. You know, this. I mean, at the end of the day, I don't see why. I mean, listen. What they should be saying to players is, okay, look, if you want to be taking your shirt off, just make sure you've got a vest on underneath. Okay, stick a vest on. Then you can take your shirt off. I don't understand why you want to
give you yellow.
No, but even then, why? Because you cannot diminish a player who has worked a great move, is full of confidence, the team are on a high. You scored a fantastic goal. You want to just release that joy in whatever way it may be. So,
of course, I think they're probably trying to protect, the goal celebrations being political stage for a political statement and so forth. Because if somebody's wearing a vest underneath and they have like a message, then it's like a invitation for everybody else to sort of put that message out there what they want. But of course, I mean, nobody's saying that's a terrible thing. I loved it when we were watching the Sidemen FC versus the other team, that charity game, like when there was somebody who said, my mom beat cancer, and that's a great message to share with the rest of the world and celebrate, so but
again, but this comes down to communication. It comes down to communication. You have to, FIFA and the refereeing associations and everybody else, the FAs of countries, they need to communicate better and just make it clear. These are the rules. We don't want to stop you from celebrating in whatever way you do, but if you are to remove your shirt and you're wearing a vest, please do not have anything political or whatever on it. Just a plain vest, whatever color you like, right? And then there's no problem. If everybody understands it, then they know what they're going into. And if somebody breaks that rule, and then they know what the punishment is, and that punishment is there forthcoming, then it's tough. You've got to accept the punishment, but at least try and make it fair that people have got a choice. It's for me. I don't like the fact that you have to sort of think about. I've seen players actually go to take their shirts off, and then realise that they're going to get a card if they do, and then stop halfway through in games.
I just don't understand the obsession with having to do that, though. Like,
oh, Matt, come on. You've obviously not played the game proper, bro.
No, I just cheer. I go up and I spin around and I go to the crowd, but I never think like, right, I've got to take my shirt off. And at the end of the game, yeah, when you don't get a red card, when you throw the final whistle, go for it. Yeah,
I don't know. Maybe it's a I don't know. Maybe it's a primitive instinct. Like you that bare kind of inner, I don't know, caveman, shall we say?
Well, I think Ronaldo ruined it for me.
Oh yeah, yeah. I know. Yeah, doing that funny thing that he did. That was
yeah.
All right, you know what I mean. Don't want to see that, bro. You know what I mean? All right, the girls might like it, but
I don't. Each to their own, of course.
Yeah, but again, for me, I just think there's, just don't do it. Just give them, communicate better. Tell them what the rules are. If they don't play by the rules, then you get a punishment. Simple.
So to bring us back to round of 16, does anybody have a favorite round of 16 celebration then? Like what?
That's a good idea. I think
Morocco's. Okay.
It's got. What do you reckon? I think Morocco's celebration after that penalty, that beautiful penalty, and the way he was like,
yeah.
And they'll come running in. He was like, look, I just saw, bro.
That was good. Yeah. I think I liked oh man, I didn't like Neymar's one, but I liked one of the. As much as like it was a talking point earlier on, the celebration with the coach for me, just like I was just like, whoa, this is crazy. The coaching staff are gonna get involved next. We're gonna see the coaching staff like doing the chicken dance too, But anyway, so that was probably like from the Brazil celebrations. One of the 4 celebrations were definitely like up there for me.
Definitely going to see more, aren't we? Brush says the Brazilian dancing is all good and well, but they've got nothing on Crouchy. Peter Crouch could learn a thing or two from him, the robot.
That's very
big up to Brush. He says, big up Matt, Talk and Bots.
Yeah.
I'm a tad concerned about Enrique being a free agent. Could possibly see him at Newcastle / Chelsea / Liverpool in the summer. It's Liverpool,
Hold that there, Matt. What was we talking about? Was it last night or the night before?
Yeah, I know. I did say Chelsea. You did say Newcastle. So we're both on that.
I said Newcastle.
I don't know about Liverpool, though. I don't know how you feel about that football powerhouse. Hour.
Power hour. But I think Liverpool probably it's gonna take a while till Klopp, Klopp has to resign. They believe in him so much, and I think right now they're just going through a blip where they didn't invest, and like they know they made a mistake, and they both their marriage is so good from the outside, from me, as a Man United fan looking from a distance. But I live very close to Fenway, the Fenway ground. Actually, it's about 10 minutes away from here. So anyway, too much information on one show. I pulled my government name and where I live. Matt, this is your fault. Okay.
We are live. Sorry, I'm sorry.
Right.
Pre-recorded this for you, mate.
It's all good, man. But in terms of Luis Enrique, I feel his destination should be Newcastle, because it with Chelsea. It also depends if Graham Potter actually, picks things up.
You say Graham Flop?
Exactly. Even Graham Flopper lives up to the name. So yeah. But definitely, I want to see him in the dugout in the Premier League. So I'm excited. He's got to come and bring up the quality even more. The Spurs project might implode. He might be the next target for that. We all know how volatile Antonio Conte is, and anyway.
I don't see the Spurs. I think for me, as we discussed with me and Matt the other night, I think the Newcastle one fits like a glove, because everything it's all rolling in the right directions. There will be now, like I said, Eddie Howe. He's going to find himself in a position where all eyes are on him as we speak anyway, because of the position he finds himself in now. I know we're not supposed to be talking about this, but quickly, I just think he's going to hit a roadblock, and because these people have got the right people in place, they will pick that moment to say, okay, now look, listen, we have to keep this rolling. We have to keep the players in the position they are in right now under your guidance and tutelage. But we cannot let that fade away, because if this is what happens at a football club. Manager starts to have a bit of a, how should we say, they go on a run, then they hit a brick wall, and then they go, oh, patience is needed. During that patient time, everything falls away. The player confidence falls away because they don't no longer believe, right? So to preserve that, Newcastle will, in my opinion, make a move for somebody like Enrique, and I think maybe even. I mean, it might sound crazy, but it may even be before the end of the season. In my opinion, it could be before the end of the season.
It's a good shout, and it might happen, and we should definitely see if that does. A good comment there, Brush. Thank you so much. Solo says, "Big up, gentlemen."
Big up.
Brush's Football Power Hour, aka Botswana Papi, aka Aubrey, aka Reckless Delegate, aka Triangles, aka Samba Dance Man.
I'm just going to call you Akka.
Yeah, exactly.
There you go. He's giving everything out now. You got nothing, no identity that's safe now, mate.
Everything is out there now.
Got you loaded down here. Brush man of many names.
Oh,
absolutely.
My goodness.
Really,
big up Brush. Big up Solo.
Talk MU, you just fell into what I do all the time, getting even one's name wrong. Definitely. You've done it, Rise, yeah. Talk. Why do I say Rise? Because I keep reading your thumbnail. Sorry. Big up Brush Solo. Keep up the celebration. It's entertainment. Anyone who is upset having got no rhythm in dancing, I definitely have. The Brazilian dancing is all good and well, but I've done that one, haven't I? Yeah. This is my only problem with the English mentality. When Peter Crouch did the robot against a minnow team, it was a new trend. Set new Brazil with dancing. People are complaining. Yeah, but Crouchy was never going to really be able to score that many goals in a World Cup. So it was good to see him at least score one. And he did tug on that guy's hair as well. Was it against Trinidad and Tobago? I'm doing my running and listening too, boys. Oh, that's nice, man. You must have some really good earphones to keep doing both. It's too hot. Talk MU. They're so that's why they don't wear a vest. Matt, you definitely haven't played the game, bro. The adrenaline is pumping through you, scoring for your national team. It's insane. Mate, I have. I just literally run for about 2 miles off the pitch like Forrest Gump in the movie. Just keeps going. And they're like, where's he gone? You just took your shirt off. And I'm like, sorry, I celebrate too hard. I literally run home and tell everyone about it. Big up Matt and Talk and everybody here. And Liverpool will be back when the season kicks off again. Okay, leading on to the next and last topic, because I know Football Power Hour, you've got to go at some point. So we're going to talk about the quarterfinals that are coming up tomorrow and Saturday and Sunday. I don't think there's any Monday, or am I completely wrong about that? I think it's the 3 days, isn't it? Friday, Saturday, Sunday.
Yeah, there's none on Monday.
Tomorrow and Saturday.
Yeah, Friday tomorrow and Saturday.
Right, too. Yeah. So what you thinking, mate? This is where it really gets intense. We've got lovely Morocco in there to, hopefully beat Portugal, because that would be a lovely story, wouldn't it, for the World Cup, for them to reach the semi-finals. What you thinking, mate? What's going to happen in the quarters?
Oof. It's going to be interesting. The last hope for the underdog story is really right there on Morocco, and a little bit on Croatia, where Croatia I like to look at them as the extra time merchants, because they, out of every knockout stage ever since '98, they've taken a game to extra time and either finished the game in extra time or in penalties. So they know they're very fit. Everybody's thinking that, they played an extra, a couple of minutes last time, so they could be a little bit tired, and Brazil rested their key players in that last group stage game, and they're really going to be more fired up. But the main thing is the Croatians have a lot of stamina and a lot of energy, and they're very physical, they're very organized defensively, and they know how to turn up when it's time to really go for the game, and they know how to sit back. And a team that has a mentality like that, it's just a matter of them staying synchronized and staying in, making sure that they are linking up and not being phased by the fact that they're 1-0 down. If they go 2-0 down, it'll become a bigger mountain to climb. But the key for Croatia is to get the goal, to get the match to the 60th minute at 1-0 down, and then from there try and go for extra time, or maybe try and finish it in the 90, but in added time. But as far as Morocco goes, Morocco is like one of the other teams, the African teams, that just been showing some extraordinary tactical nuance in terms of that defensive organization. It's just so great. It's just that they don't have a lot of clear difference makers. I mean, Ziyech has been playing really, really good, and they're also just they have a very strong team spirit, and this is going to be a match where it's team spirit and all that defensive tenacity versus the star-studded power of Portugal, and the Bernardo Silvas and the Brunos and the Joaos, and so it's going to be one of those again where it's underdog versus top dog, and Brazil is also a top dog versus underdog with the Croatia game. But the one where it's big dog versus big dog is England versus France. As somebody from Botswana, it's so great to see the English panic and lose sleep over Mbappe. They're all just say your prayers now for Kyle Walker's hamstring, that it stays intact for at least 80 minutes, because that boy Mbappe is looking sharp and sharper and sharper.
Boy, Power Hour. Did you see that the Madame Tussauds, I think in Paris, they had a wax Mbappe, and they dressed the England scarf and the England flag around him and the bucket hat.
Exactly.
Brilliant.
I'm really hoping even Gareth Southgate is the one who's massaging Kyle Walker himself, being like, Kyle, I need your hamstrings to be good, because you gotta have to keep Mbappe in check. So that's really the nightmare for all the English. But the thing is, while all the talk is about Mbappe, watch it be Griezmann or Dembele that shines. And somebody else is gonna. That's the thing about this French team. It's just they have so many solutions, and they have if it's a long free kick and Giroud is just gonna finish off what Griezmann provides, and it's just gonna be, the thing with the English team is I feel like it's sort of like one of those where they probably will concede first, because we saw versus Senegal. Senegal had the first two chances, and this is a moment where we're not talking what's his name, Sarr. We're talking if Maguire makes a loose pass for Mbappe, Mbappe is gonna chew that up, and so we're not hitting the post yet. We're going for goal, so it's gonna be very, very interesting to see how England responds to the first goal that they concede, and then But anyway, the ball is round. Who knows? It's a World Cup of surprises. The last quarterfinal game that I want to talk about is the Netherlands Argentina one. I feel like that one is going to be Argentina with all the possession and Netherlands trying to hit them on the break, and they've got the boy that's on fire, Gakpo, that's really, really performing, and Memphis Depay, if you give him space, he'll shine, and he's looking for a new club. So
we all remember 98. We all remember 98. Dennis Bergkamp.
Right. Exactly. So yeah, I don't know. What do you guys think? Go on, talk. I just went through all the quarterfinal games.
Yeah, perfect. That's what we want.
I mean, Croatia, Brazil. First of all, I think Croatia will make a real fist of it in terms of the defensive aspects of the game, and by doing so, they're gonna hope to cause Brazil to run out of ideas, because you get to a stage in a game. You go in with your game plan and you start to put it into play, and it doesn't reap dividends because they're going to be a much better defensive team than the last opponents. That's 100% guaranteed. So then I think what Croatia will do then is to try and hope to recognise, but that's down to the coach, to recognise when Brazil are starting to sort of keep hitting the brick wall and start to think, oh, wait a minute, okay, well, what do we do now? When the ball starts to be less and less moved forward into dangerous areas and it starts going sideways and backwards, that'll be the key and the trigger for Croatia to start to move up a little bit. And then, because they will save a lot of energy, I believe, as well, also by doing that. And they've got to do that because they have got an aging squad. Modric, Perisic. There's a few of them that are, not sort of, shall we say, the youngest. So I think for me, that'll be a game that, and we know that Croatia are capable of keeping anybody out, to be fair. If they're on it and they're 100% focused. So that's how I expect that one to go. And if Brazil, like you said, Brazil don't score, within the first sort of 60 minutes or so, then Croatia will be so G'd up by that and feel, because Croatia will identify some weaknesses of Brazil, which is are they weak centrally or are they weak on one of the flanks? Which is it? He'll identify that's Zlatko Dalic's job to do that, and his coaching staff to recognise. Then they will target either one of those positions and see if they can get some joy from there. So that's that. The Argentina and Netherlands. I think what the Netherlands will do is, like you say, they will maybe want to counter attack with the pace of Gakpo, etc. Memphis Depay but I think in doing so, they will want to pass the ball as well in their own when they're getting pressured by Argentina. Okay, let's not, they're not going to panic and sort of just play long balls. They will want to pass the ball about to try and move Argentina around so they can exploit the spaces in behind and do it that way. So a little bit different. But in terms of those two teams, those two games, who I think is going to win, I don't know. I can, for whatever reason, I don't know why, but I can see Croatia taking Brazil all the way to penalties. But I can't see the Netherlands being able to keep the concentration enough and that passing game going long enough, going to keep Argentina out with Messi. Because, like we say, Messi can walk about the pitch for 89 minutes, and in 1 minute, he can just do something quite unbelievable and magical, and bang, it's game over. So for that reason, I would put it down to, Croatia taking them there, and then Argentina beating the Netherlands. France, England. Well, the Three Lions are louder than a cockerel, bro. You know what I'm saying? The Three Lions are going to roar louder than that little cockerel, mate. The little cockerel's just like, and then we got the Three Lions roaring, bro. I know what you're saying about Mbappe, but let me listen. You know what? We've got some ballers in our team. We've got some ballers, and you know what we're going to do? We ain't going to say to France, okay, come on then, throw it all at us and let's see if we can try and contain Mbappe and Kyle Walker. No, we're going to take the game to France. That's the only way we can actually upset whatever it is they're going to try and do. We've got to take the game to them. You know what I mean? So if he picks the right teams, Gareth Southgate, and they're G'd up for it and they're ready, I could see it being quite a close game, if I'm honest. I don't want it to go to penalties. I'd rather it be won in normal time. But obviously, I've got to back my country and say England on that one.
Oh, you're saying England.
What's another one? Which is the other one?
Morocco, Portugal.
Oh, Morocco, Portugal. Yeah, now I said this the other night. I think I said it last night, Matt. I can see Morocco beating Portugal. I really can. Now, as good as they were last evening, Portugal, even without Ronaldo, I just think Morocco, they're more than just a defending team. They've got a lot more to offer than that. And again, it's about ideas. It's about running out of ideas, and that's maybe the case again of what we see with Portugal. And it may force Santos's hand into bringing Ronaldo on earlier than he wants to.
I don't think he needs to, does he? Football hour.
Matt, you can get it.
Power hour.
There we go.
Matt, where you at, man? Where's you at that, bro?
You can hear me, yeah?
Yeah.
Good.
Wait, I even forgot what we were just talking about because Matt just made me forget.
Ramos coming on instead of Cristiano Ronaldo. Start Ramos again.
Oh, dude, no doubt. You start to say you have to build off of the momentum you had in from the previous game, and Ronaldo unfortunately has to just suck it and just it's such a we've seen that two managers have given Ronaldo a clear chance to be like, oh, let's see what you got, and it doesn't seem to be working out, and this is not turning out well for his chapter after the World Cup. So hopefully, I mean, as a somebody that really loved the legend and the story of Ronaldo as a player at Man United, I want the best for him. I really want for him to come. Maybe Ramos gets 2 goals in, and then Ronaldo comes in and gets a goal, and then he can end up somewhere. He can even end up in Dortmund for all I care. But the main thing is he's sort of cast a shadow over the Portuguese national team, the same shadow that he cast over Man United. And the Portuguese the Portuguese Federation had to release a statement today to say, no, Ronaldo did not threaten to leave. What? Why are we even talking about? We should be just focused on the game,
Let me ask you the question, though.
Yeah.
Let me just ask you the question. Do you not think, though, that surely Santos and the rest of the team in the squad, especially Bruno Fernandes and Dalot, they already knew that. They knew the possibility of what was going to happen. If they knew, okay, if Ronaldo's not going to get picked, or he's not going to get played, there's going to be a problem here. If they already anticipated, I don't think it's going to affect the squad's ability to play on the pitch. No. I really don't believe that. I think, they will have already absorbed that fact in their own minds before the tournament. Because surely, that's going to come into your mind, isn't it? What's going to happen with Ronaldo? That question's going to be asked, even though he's in the squad. You're going to ask the question: is he going to start every game? What's the manager going to be doing? And given what he did at Man United, everything else, you're going to come to a conclusion in your own mind. Okay, this could be a possible outcome, so I need to prepare for that. So and teammates speak to each other, everything else. So maybe that's exactly what we're seeing amongst the squad at Portugal right now. Is the fact that they do understand what could happen with Ronaldo and what is happening with him right now, and it's something that they have worked out in their own minds, and it's enabling them to do the performances that they're doing right now.
Yeah, I think that's exactly the flip side of the story. Just to interject, you Matt, that Ronaldo's presence in the dressing room, though, or on the bench. Let's say Ronaldo's presence on a bench makes you a player go the extra yard, even you dig a little deeper, knowing that you're benching Ronaldo, knowing that so you cannot ignore that aspect of
Oh,
it.
yeah.
And this guy has been a professional. He just had a blip in his career where the first time ever in his life he's suspended as a football player. The first time ever where he's had all these tragedies and things. And you can put that aside and be like, this was a bad chapter. Ronaldo, here, this is the condition. You're going to be the backup striker for us at Chelsea or Arsenal. Arsenal does not have Jesus anymore. They need a solution. Or, you know, maybe, I mean, Ronaldo is a totally different kind of player to what Jesus is, but like, obviously they, you know, the fact is he still has qualities that he can bring to a team. And if a team is set up to maximize, you know, that sort of like crossing and using a target man, you know, you can sort of build your team and sort of try and make the most out of it for at least for 6 months or a year, you know. So you cannot just we cannot just underwrite the fact that this man is a legend and his presence does impact a lot of people that he's working with. Go ahead.
I think the big red flag for any manager, especially in the Premier League, is what was the effects on the rest of the squad by the arrival of Ronaldo. It's a big thing. It's you know, like you've just put it there in a nutshell. You know, you're talking about if Ronaldo's on the bench, you're out there, you've got to do more. That's for some players can be a plus. For some players, it can be a massive negative. You know, it's both sides. Sorry, go on, Matt.
No, continue, mate. Continue.
No, I was going to say it's both sides of the coin, isn't it? You know, so and would you're bringing in a massive personality like that. It takes a manager of real confidence, real grit, and real, how should we say, quality, like a Sir Alex Ferguson, to be able to do that. But when have we ever had a player that came to Manchester United in the same kind of guise as Cristiano Ronaldo is right now? We haven't.
Look, I just want to just to finish it off, and then because I know you got to go. I feel that Messi's leadership with Argentina is much better than the approach that Ronaldo has with Portugal. I feel that Messi's actually trying to help develop the team around him, and that's why he's playing that specific position for Argentina. The way he's more assisting and doing 1-2s and layoffs and helping other people go forward is, and Ronaldo's literally just trying to make it mainly about himself, it feels. I think Messi's doing the right thing by trying to make the team better with his ability, which I think Ronaldo just wants the glory for himself. That's why he wasn't too happy with the situation. But that's just my opinion. We'll finish it off there though, because go on. One more from you.
Well, yeah, man. I mean, you know, I want to hear your predictions for the quarterfinals, because this was like we had wrapped up the conversation on the quarterfinals, but I didn't hear your input.
Okay. Morocco to beat Portugal. I think England just to beat France. I'm not trying to be too biased on that, but I just generally think this is the best chance they've got to do it. Yeah. I think it's going to be a Brazil and Argentina semi-final, so I see them both getting through too. That's it. Yeah, that's it.
Okay. All right.
To finish it up, then, guys, who will win the World Cup before we finish?
England.
It's going to the home of football. And we'll be doing this.
Yeah. Have you seen that clip that somebody did of the girl throwing bread? It was on Twitter. Some girls throwing bread near a lake.
Oh, really?
And it says something like, "Oh, just feeding the ducks," or something. And then it's got that underneath it, and it's like, "Oh, what?"
I haven't seen the clip. I'll look for it. That's funny.
Brilliant. Right, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for tuning in today. Sorry about the dodgy start. For some reason, my technology decided it was going to crash on my mic and you couldn't hear me. So apologies for that.
Good. At Football Power Hour, that's my channel.
Yes. Tell everybody where they can find you.
Yeah. At Football Power Hour. If you just search that on YouTube, you'll definitely find me. And then the Twitter handle is at Football P Hour. They couldn't fit the whole word in, you know. So anyway, yeah, those are the handles. Thank you so much for having me. It's been a pleasure rocking with you guys. And let's go quarterfinals.
We'd love to have you back on. We'd love to have you back on sometime, mate.
Thank you. Real pleasure. Definitely will come back.
Cheers, mate. Talk MU, thank you once again, mate. Where can everybody find you on your magnificent channel, Football versus Cancer? I've just said it.
Yeah, everyone knows where to find me on Twitter. I Talk MU, a Man United Agenda on YouTube, and yes, on my channel, Football versus Cancer on YouTube. So go and check them out.
Brilliant. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in today. We shall.
Aubrey's gone.
Oh, no. I'm here.
Right, we're going now. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Smash like, share, subscribe if you can. Go check out everybody's content, and we will see you again, I think, this weekend. Until then, ta-ra.